special friends are here today from the Columbus Artists Guild. And Peggy Gray is here, and one of my very favorite pictures is down here right beside me. When I walked in, I didn't know if that was a painting or a photograph, but I believe it's a photograph, right? And Peggy, tell me who our guest is, and tell me about our Artist of the Month.
Our Artist of the Month is Harry Geeslin. Harry has just retired as Director of Real Estate at Nagley. Oh. And this has been his hobby, and I think now he's really going to be getting into it.
All right, Harry, tell me about this one. This is my favorite.
Rozell, that's right outside of Fayetteville, Georgia, on old 85 going into Atlanta. It's an old brick mill.
And it's a Star Mill?
Yeah, it's Star Mill, the name of it.
The reason I know, because I've stopped there to make pictures of it many times. And it, of course, mine didn't look like these, like this one, but it is beautiful.
I would suggest if anybody wants to photograph that, be there around 9 or 10 in the morning. That's the best time.
When the sun comes up.
Right.
Right. And how about that one next to you there?
This one is one of my favorite spots. It's the Lumpkin Providence Canyon State Park. That is one of those outcroppings of the sand and clay formation down there. And this was in the fall, and you can see the colors of the leaves of the trees.
That is a beautiful photograph. And the one you're holding, Peggy, where was that one taken, Harry?
This was taken out at Evergreen Cemetery on St. Mary's Road. There's a little lake out there, and I photographed these out at that lake. They're wood ducks.
Aren't they beautiful?
And I think they are the most colorful of all the ducks. And they're my pets.
They're beautiful. My son Don hadn't seen that, has he?
No, not yet.
He's a duck lover. Well, Harry, you going to leave this the Star Mill with us for the month?
Either one. You may.
Well, I think that'll have a good spot right over the fireplace over there. Peggy, tell me a little bit more about Harry. He ain't going to talk about himself.
Well, Harry is just great in photography. He has a gorgeous slideshow. He spends most of his time taking photographs. And hiking, if you're ever going to hike with Harry, you have it.
Are you available for doing slideshows for clubs?
Anytime.
Anytime?
I'll be delighted to do it, really.
He's been up at Callaway Gardens for the last week, and he's going back up there in March.
I love that place in the winter, don't
Harry
you?
does too.
Yeah.
If you go there, you spend the day because Harry knows everybody.
Well, we appreciate your coming and sharing your work with us, and we thank you for letting us keep this one for the month.
I thank you, Rozell.
Harry Geeslin, our Artist of the Month photographer for February. Anybody interested in Columbus Artists Guild may call where?
You may call my home at 563-1300.
563-1300. And if you want to learn more about it, and remember, you don't have to paint with a brush to be in the Artist Guild.
No, we have people in all lines of work. It's creative. We have a lot of supporters that just like art.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Harry Geeslin. We'll enjoy your work.
Thank you, Rozell.
Going right around from them over to two ladies who are visiting with us this morning, and they're from Contact, and Meryl Pinson and Wanda Taylor. Now, you all are here in the interest of Contact. Tell me about Contact.
Back to Good Day. Apparently an extraordinary man was here in our community for a number of years. I think about 65 years, you said. Harry Geeslin, who was a wonderful photographer, and he did die in March, and I think you said he had just retired and was about to give all his time to his photography. But we're going to look at some of that and have a bit of a memorial for him today, because I've been told by Wendell Taylor, who is also an artist and a sculptor, too, as I understand, and a very good friend of Harry's. He has been telling me what an extraordinary man that he was, so hopefully we'll have time for a couple of those stories. And then also Peggy Gray is with us, who was a friend of Harry's and a member of the Columbus Artists Guild, of which Harry was a member also. I think that's how you got to know him. Tell me a little bit about the man and his work.
Harry was one of those unique individuals, I think, who just enjoyed life to the fullest. Every day was a new adventure. I think he couldn't wait for the next day to begin. and he loved photography. He loved anything to take pictures of, and I think he recorded, wouldn't you say, Peggy, so many things in thousands and thousands of slides of things in Georgia and things around him. I mean, he was as interested in a rock that was interesting as he was a barn.
He was probably, because he probably got so much out of things that he would spot things that were really...
He saw so much more than most people do.
Let's go ahead and look at some of the slides we have, and we can talk about Harry. Well, first of all, now you did this, right, Wendell?
Yes.
This was Harry Geeslin.
It's an oil sketch of Harry and I never quite finished it because I couldn't get him to sit still long enough. You know?
Now, you said he was 63 in this picture, right?
About.
And he looks much younger, so I think that love of life shows
Oh, yes.
in the portrait also. Peggy, tell me, what is this? One of his works of photography, I guess.
Yeah, I think this was at Callaway Gardens. He lived at Callaway Gardens much of the time, and these were some ducks that was there.
They're wood ducks.
And this is, do you know where this is, or is this just a sample of the sort of scenes he got something out of?
This is an example of what he liked to take pictures of. I don't happen to know exactly where that one is.
All these are really the old South type looking
And this
things.
is what I was talking about he liked to take rocks, flowers, old roots, and locks.
Yeah, and this is Peggy.
A passion flower.
Yeah, a passion flower that he just got a very close shot of this, and of course that's pretty. You say we see a man of many interest in this, including brick, old brick.
Well, that's interesting when you look at it. It's
It's a nice design.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as I look
And
at
the
it
color.
the second time. The design, there is a design to it, really. Another flower. Apparently he loved nature, didn't he?
Oh,
he
yes.
did.
And this another
Yeah,
story.
I think this is Callaway Gardens too. I think this is the cabin.
Yeah, old South looking thing. This is beautiful.
Yeah, this is
I
the
really like
mountain.
this one.
That's in the Blue Ridges. That's in Harris County.
That's nice. Many times when I'm traveling on the road, I see shots of these old cabins that have been abandoned and so on, and I think it would really make a beautiful photograph. Well, Harry did something about that when he thought of it.
Well, Harry makes you see things that you ordinarily would not see.
Like this piece of tar on a piece of wood.
Yeah, we decided that's what this must be, right? It's something you would think of as being pretty common, but it has a design too, as you said. This is beautiful. Now, this is one of my favorite
He
ones.
has a lot of covered bridges, and this is just one of the
Company
inside.
Creek Bridge.
The perspective here, the
Right.
light and the shadows mixed is beautiful. We know what this is, right?
Right.
Spider's web up close. I think that's all that we have on the slides. So beautiful work, absolutely. Tell me, what were you saying about children? You said that he loved children also. didn't
Oh,
you?
he loved children. My daughters especially loved Harry, but he was just so much fun to take them places because he did notice every little bug and every rock and everything about nature.
The roller coaster you said that he built, was that for children? You said he didn't have grandchildren. Was that for himself?
He could do about anything, you know, and he decided to make a roller coaster in his backyard when he was growing up. So he did.
It was for him then, when he was younger.
And of course,
built his
everybody
own.
in the neighborhood, you know.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. Well, what did you said he worked, he did not work full-time as a photographer, right? He was with Nagel
Right.
Advertising. But he had plans to
He
go
was
into
an
it?
executive with Nagel Advertising Incorporated.
He exhibited in a few
Before
shows,
he-
and he's won a lot of awards. But
Right.
he was really going to donate his time now to traveling and doing shows and doing slide lectures. And
Do
all.
you think that there will be a demand now for his photographs?
We
Have you
hope
seen
so.
that happen yet?
We
or-
hope so. There are a lot of people have asked, and we're trying to get up an exhibit for him later on this year. We do not have a place yet, but there's a lot of people because Harry was involved with the Ad Club and the Audubon Society and that they would like to see his work.
Well, he seems to have been quite a man. I'm glad we could take this time to have respect for what he did with his life, because he sounded like a wonderful person.
was.
Thank you for
We
being
thank
here
you.
and sharing
Thank
it with
you.
us. Mr. Food is up next, and he states roast beef is one of those things that just about everybody loves, so why don't we cook it up really good?
You know, cold roast beef is probably one of the favorites